Alright class, I am going to quickly go over our answers to stories B and C from our storytelling worksheet. So here we go. For part B, we were changing today to yesterday and telling the past tense story of what Carlos had to say. So if we say yesterday was June 3rd. It was my cousin Catalina's birthday. These two, you might be like, Profe, I don't understand why one would be one way and one would be the other. And if you have further questions, let me know. But this is what the answer would be. When you are done with a day and you're saying what the date was, it's done and over with, preterite. But the fact that it was someone's birthday, that's not going to change. June 3rd was my cousin's birthday. That's describing the day. So one would be the preterite and one would be the imperfect. For 2, in or at her house there were many or a lot of guests, including a very pretty girl that was called Teresa. There were a lot of people. She was called Teresa. Both of these are this one's describing the scene. There were a lot of people. We don't know when that began or ended. That would be going on behind the curtain in the play. And her name being Teresa is definitely something that was ongoing. It's not something that happened and then was over with. In this one, my cousin introduced her to me. She was very elegant and she was wearing a blue dress. Could you say she wore a blue dress? You sure could, but that will probably make you think that you would use the preterite, so you always want to try used to first, and then was wearing, and if either of those work, you're going to use the imperfect. So if you can say she was wearing something, that would be the better option. So my cousin introduced her to me. Done and over with. She was very elegant. Description. She was wearing a blue dress, was wearing, which brings us to these answers here. Moving on. Press pause if you need more time. As or because, como in sentences is on your book covers. As or because it was sunny out, we ate on the lawn, and I asked a question to her. There's an IOP. As I've been saying, you need to introduce an IOP with a preposition like to or for. Asked a question to her if she wanted to go boating with me on the lake. So, it was sunny out. That's just weather, ongoing. We ate on the grass or on the lawn, so that's done and over with. And I asked her, that's like said or asked, and if she wanted internal feelings or emotions, imperfect. She answered, yes. We went up or climbed up into the boat. I was hot and I took off my jacket. She answered yes. That's like said, preterite. We climbed up into the boat. Done and over with. I was hot. That's not something that you can visually witness. That is more like an internal feeling. I wouldn't call it an emotion, but I was hot. That's description. Took off my jacket. You could see that happen. So we have preterite, preterite, imperfect, preterite. Moving on. Press pause if you need more time. Unfortunately, I lost my balance and I fell into the water. Teresa fell too. All of these happened. Lost my balance, done and over with. I fell, she fell. The water was very cold and she became very angry with me. What a disaster. The water was cold. It didn't start at the moment that I fell in. That is ongoing description in the past. Ponerse plus adjective is an emotional reaction or change, so we will end up with the imperfect and then the preterite. Let's move on to the next story. Last night, Clara saw an accident, so we're narrating her story in the past tense. We would say, I was at home, my parents were sleeping, but I was studying. This is all going to be introduced in the imperfect because all of these are setting the scene, and was worrying can be said, so we're going to go imperfect. Number 2, Suddenly, I heard a tremendous noise in the street. I opened the window and I saw a car on the sidewalk. De repente is in our reasons to use the preterite time expressions, and I heard it, I opened, I saw. All of these are